Yes, ask her for one of the liqueur cellarettes. Mine is incomplete. And tell her that I shall have the honor of seeing her about 3 o'clock, and that I request permission to introduce someone to her. The valet left the room. Albert threw himself on the divan, tore off the cover of 2 or 3 of the papers, looked at the theater announcements, made a face seeing they gave an opera and not a ballet, hunted vainly amongst the advertisements for a new tooth powder of which he had heard, and threw down, one after the other, the 3 leading papers of Paris, muttering, "These papers become more and more stupid every day." A moment after, a carriage stopped before the door, and the servant announced, Monsieur Lucien Debray, a tall young man, with light hair, clear gray eyes, and thin and compressed lips, dressed in a blue coat with beautifully carved gold buttons, a white neckcloth, and a tortoise-shell eyeglass suspended by a silken thread, and which, by an effort of the superciliary and zygomatic muscles, he fixed in his eye, entered, and with a half-official air, without smiling or speaking. "Good morning, Lucien, good morning," said Albert. "Your punctuality really alarms me. What do I say? Punctuality. You, whom I expected last. You arrived 5 minutes to 10, when the time fixed was half past. Has the ministry resigned?" "No, my good fellow," returned the young man, seating himself on the divan. "Reassure yourself, we are tottering always, but we never fall, and I begin to believe that we shall pass into a state of immobility, and then the affairs of the peninsula will completely consolidate us." "Ah, true. You drive Don Carlos out of Spain." No, no, my dear fellow. Do not confound our plans. We take him to the other side of the French frontier, and offer him hospitality at Bourges. At Bourges? Yes. He has not much to complain of. Bourges is the capital of Charles VII. Do you not know that all Paris knew it yesterday? And the day before it had already transpired on the Bourse, and Monsieur Danglars, I do not know by what means that man contrives to obtain intelligence as soon as we do, made $1 million. Okie dokie, we got a brand new character, and that's almost exciting, as learning that Danglars is still a character. Why am I singing all this stuff? I don't know. Okay, I'm done. Where do I start? With Debray or Danglars? Oh, man. Let's start with Debray, because I think it gives us context for Danglars. The servant announces, Lucien Debray, a tall young man, clearly a dapper fella, and a man, gentleman, seemingly caught up in the Spanish War, one of the, I don't know if it was a civil war, Carlist War, it's called. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not going to pretend I do, but doesn't seem to be a soldier necessarily. I mean, I don't want to make assumptions, but if he was a soldier, I would assume he were on the battlefield of some sort, and not dressed to the nines with a monocle in his eye. I wonder if that monocle is going to pop out of his head at some point when he gets really astonished by something. So if he is politically connected, or just like this is a demonstration of bourgeois culture, we've talked about just kind of being up to snuff and conversant on numerous topics. Perhaps. We don't know enough about this dude yet. But what does he reveal here? He talks about, after Albert mentions driving Don Carlos out of Spain. I'm not going to get into the history of that because this feels like just a passing reference, and this isn't necessarily a history podcast. I learned my lessons from the Napoleon chapters, but he's explaining we take him at the other side of the French frontier and offer him hospitality at Bourges. This feels, to me, if he's not a soldier and not politically connected, if it is just kind of societal chit-chat, like he's talking almost about his favorite baseball team. But he goes on to say that somehow all of Paris knew about the events as of yesterday, but then the day before that, Monsieur Danglars has made $1 million. We don't know how exactly, but we know that Danglars, from the Caderousse chapter talking about what happened to the men, went on, or was it Caderousse, or was it just Dumas talking about it at the end of part 1? I can't remember. Point being, Danglars left Marseille, left France, I believe, and went and made millions and millions and millions. He made more millions marrying a widow, and somehow he's more connected than Debray even seems, because he knows the same intelligence that he does in order to make whatever investments he's making pay off in a big way. Is it possible that Danglars has conformed and is now a major philanthropist across Europe? I'm gonna guess no, but maybe. Why not? That would change Dante's pursuit of revenge against him. If you have to question, does satisfying my own thirst for blood come before all of the good a person did? I don't want to ruin the story. Maybe that is what happens. I shouldn't. This is why it's difficult to speculate. I shouldn't do that. I thought I learned my lesson on that. Well, this is a short chapter, but a hell of a lot is transpiring. We got to learn more about who Debray is, and maybe we're going to learn more about Danglars. Clearly, Albert knows of the man Debray is referencing. How far back does Albert and Danglars' relationship go? Is Danglars the godfather of Albert? Was that a thing in France in the 1800s? I don't know. Join me here tomorrow when we will know more of what's happening, because we're going to read more of the story. Until then, okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.